Hello, and welcome back to Extra Life 2020.
Hello, and welcome to what I am calling the director's commentary track for the Extra Life 2020 Part 8 Twitch Sings. Long story short, because at this point this is maybe the fourth time I have tried recording this track. So this was back in Extra Life 2020, and I was like, okay, Twitch Sings is reaching, end of service, end of life, which was like really sad because, hey, listen, by the way, if you've never done it, karaoke is really fun. Even if you don't think it's not about being good at singing. It is about sort of making a fool out of yourself with your friends. It's a great time. I fully recommend it. But to do it as part of a stream is sort of tricky business because we live in an era where the Digital Millennium Copyright Act exists, and it's not super great. It's not particularly well written. It didn't sort of anticipate the future particularly well.
We're doing 12 hours today, 12 hours tomorrow. So we're entering the last shift, or the last leg of...
And basically what it leads to is that if you want to do a karaoke stream, you basically can't do much without getting in some sort of hot water or some sort of gray water. That doesn't sound right.
$100 donation from I Am Clockwork. Thank you so much for that. That was fantastic.
But basically what it comes down to is if you do it, it's sort of like you see it live and then it has to disappear into the ether. But as somebody who has been professionally an archivist, I cannot abide by that. That's why what we're watching over here is the DMCA free version. We'll get to what exactly makes it that in a minute here. But on top of that, rather than just sort of, having a 90-minute video with just big, long, empty sections in it, what if we just hang out together and, we have a little conversation and we turn it into something new?
We got a donation from Kat for $15.
So that is, that's what we're doing here. So, I've already synced this up for you. You don't have to worry about hitting play on your YouTube video or media device. We're just going to sit here and watch it together, and hopefully I can give you something a little interesting in terms of behind the scenes.
Giant Bomb has raised as a team a total of 100,
which is maybe a little weird to consider in the first place because I just sort of...
we could push them into 137,000. That might happen by the time I'm done with my whole little spiel right here.
I'm not good at being an actor. I don't know how to be anything but myself. I feel really uncomfortable if I am, anything but blatantly honest. It's caused me trouble in a lot of situations. But so like I feel there's very little sort of behind the scenes to give you what you see in the camera on a normal stream. That's pure unfiltered Nick, baby. Maybe a little more talkative than I am normally, but
thank you for the question. Boy, are you really here to watch me do karaoke? You are brave, sir.
You do the thing, you downplay yourself. Here's the thing that I'll say. I did try uploading the archive for this video straight to YouTube, and it did mark it for copyrighted material. But here's the cool part. I'm singing in all of the songs. So the fact that it picks it up as a song with me singing, I'm calling that a moral victory.
You can just coming by and keeping me company, and my co-hosts and whoever have, that does a tremendous amount of support for us. Sharing the stream.
I mentioned my co-host here, which
and they share it, and then eventually
I had more in 2021, which honestly is a point of pride for me. Like socializing and hooking up with more people and sort of collaborating is something that this networking socializing is extremely hard and anxiety inducing for me. So the fact that I've been able to do more and more of that over time is a point of pride. But the one thing that I will absolutely say is I need to make sure to always give thanks, because I'm eternally grateful to my producer Joe, who is, you know, more than just my producer on streams. You know, she's my partner. She helps me with pretty much everything that she can. Brings me water, make sure I'm taking food breaks, make sure, you know, sort of is
Where's the news item?
reminds me to do self checks. Super important, especially on a super long.
Going down. Twitch Streams was already cool. Wow, I went fuzzy down in the corner. Cool. Twitch Streams was already cool because, like, as far as like accessible at-home karaoke goes, as long as you have a Twitch account, this is free to use. Was, but it's not gone yet. Free to use, free to access, tons of songs. Do you want like a bunch of Queen and Beatles and like
Twitch things did have a really good library, like Disney music, like, you know, I guess because, you know, Twitch has Amazon behind it, they were able to, you know, work out a lot of licensing deals or whatever. It is such a loss that this library is gone now. It really is a shame. And that's, you know, like I said, for as much, you know, trouble as it is to do a karaoke stream because of DMCA issues, because of, you know, I enjoy singing, but I am tone deaf, so, you know, I don't know if it's fun to listen to, but like this is the thing that ultimately made me say,
okay, that works. I'm kind of treating this as,
do I say it here?
Last public goodbye to, like,
yeah.
Hey, Twitch Sings, we love you, we already miss you, you know, more while you're still here. That's you're lucky when you can do that.
Man, more true now than it was last year. Oh boy.
Man, you know, I'll leave it at, if you can mourn while they're still here to mourn with, that's lucky. That's, you know, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, why are you even going into it there? Oh no. Me? Quit it. It's dark. I mean, you know, I get how it's heartwarming because it's me, but like,
I'm not a great singer.
It is a dark comfort, you know, like dark chocolate.
Listen to me. This is for me. This is for Daddy.
Don't say that. You know, I said this is a director's commentary track, but, you know, it is React too, I guess. This is big on YouTube, right?
It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I touched it and broke my webcam again. All right, if I just do this.
So I was still having these webcam issues this year. There's something about the specific cameras I'm using, the combination of like what USB buses I have them plugged into. Slowly I'm working all of it out. Right now it's a little bit better. Like I can, I don't want to, it's bad form, but like my setup is a little more durable than it has been in the past, let's say. So hopefully soon enough it won't be a problem at all.
There's something funky with the plug. I might have to switch that whole camera out.
Maybe if I paid more than, you know, $22 for a webcam, I might get better results. But, you know, when I have more than $22 to spend on a webcam, I'll look into it.
Okay,
what are you yelling about?
How would I get right into it? Because I know I have more than 60 minutes worth of music picked out. That was just from the music, ballparking it, and we're already 10 minutes in, and I only have so much voice left. So, thank you for joining me.
Right, so this was the final segment for day one, which, by the way, if you've been watching the archive and that's how you hit upon this point, that's awesome. I think you will have hit this version if you do want to listen to the version without this commentary track on it. I do have that up unlisted. I'll throw it up in the corner. Ding! There you go. Look at that. How long are you going to hang out? Oh, okay, and there it goes. All right, bye-bye. You can go listen to that version there. This is what's going to be in the archive. And hey, if you've been going through the archive of Extra Life, thank you so much. I know I love having like a marathon stream to listen to pass the time, to have on in the background. So if you're out there using, you know, my videos for that, to be that for you, that warms my heart. Thank you very much.
Unless I wanted to do I prefer shimmering. Advanced. Don't show nose. just shows lyrics. So, hang on. I'm speech jamming myself. So I guess this is like harmonics developed in some sense, is what I'm led to believe. So it has that like karaoke revolution tech in it. I already know I'm not going to sound right. I'm not here to do this well. I'm here to have fun doing it. So
that's one thing that I've noticed. Because Joe pointed it out to me, and then since then I've noticed it. But I do start a lot of sentences by clicking. I need to become aware of it and try to cut it down. But now I can't not hear it. I don't hear it when I'm speaking, but when I'm listening back,
I'll be over there.
Okay, so here's what I'm really here for.
Back to the street where we began.
Because what we're listening over here is the dramatic reading of the lyrics. Because
feeling so good.
Generally, the solution for the DMCA stuff is that you can just mute where the music is, and it's like, all right, here's a 3-minute silent span, which for something like karaoke, it kind of makes sense. When it's something like, there's a song in a game and it hears a song, but it also mutes all your commentary over it, that's a big bummer. And that really...
it could be. And then we know that it should. And you know that you feel it too. Because it's 9 p.m.
You're right. But like, this is sort of me saying, hey, let me make a stance here. It's just like no, this is what you want. This is you have decided to contend with laws that lead to this sort of content and ridiculousness. This is me. This is me doing a Banksy. This is me doing a Banksy, I guess.
Back to the street, down to our feet, losing the feeling of feeling unique. Do you know what I mean?
So okay, so we'll learn more about this after the song, but that weird pat your head, rub your tummy thing, I had never seen that before because I had always used this as like a local, just people in the room, not streaming, not broadcasting, not recording, use it as like a local karaoke party thing, and that never came up. It turns out once you're streaming, and you could stream straight through Twitch Sings when it was available, but even here I had OBS set up as my streaming service, my streaming program, and Twitch Sings was like, hey, we see that you're streaming this, cool, I'll turn on the streaming features. And one of the features is that weird like bonus challenge thing, which was like, I don't know why that was on by default. I thought people were turning it on who were watching, even though I was pretty sure only one person was watching. But no, that was just on. I had never seen it before. I didn't know something I had to turn off. This song actually has very few lyrics. That was the thing that sort of surprised me. Ooh. You learn a lot when you have to do a straight phase reading. Because like doing it as a song, with key changes and held notes and all of that, for not being like lyrically complex, it's still fun to sing. When all you're doing is reading it, it is this is me saying, hey, song, can we finish please? You do lose a couple of my stage banters in here because the song is muted, but
oh, does this thing know that I'm live? I guess this thing knows that I'm live. Uh-oh. I don't know how I feel about that.
Uh-oh. That's when you know things are going well, when your response is, uh-oh.
These things work, thank you. I don't want to hear it, good or not. Also, let me tell you, hey, that challenge thing, whichever one of you did that, I hate that. Oh, man, I did not like that. I did it. Did not like it. Hey, we got an achievement. Achievement somewhere? Hey.
I mean, I think part of why I did not like it so much is like
on from that,
I'm already fighting through, at this point in time, I am fighting through sort of like stage fright and sort of like the anxiety of just like putting myself on show here of this thing. Like, I am not super talented at this, but I'm doing it anyway. And then this added layer of like, hey, makes like I had prepared myself for just that much. And then this added level of, hey, here's an extra making a fool of yourself that you weren't expecting to have to do. That's the part that drove me over the edge.
Nothing and everything all at once. I am one of those melodramatic fools. Neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it.
Green Day,
I give myself the creeps.
Green Day, and specifically the album Dookie, is one of the first albums I ever like.
It all keeps adding.
Had, I guess.
I think I'm
because like it was basically just as like CDs were becoming commonplace that I reached an age of like, oh, I could have my own album collection. That is like when it hit, and so like. The first CDs I really had access to were the ones that sort of came out of my dad's music collection, my parents' collection. So it was a lot of like Green Day, Third Eye Blind. I knew Third Eye Blind from the radio, but we had one of their albums already.
Sometimes
a little bit of there was something else like was it Robert Plant, Raging Zen?
It all keeps adding up.
I don't know, but Green Day was like just like something I had. I did have a couple of albums that were just for me. What is it? We had the Muppets on Broadway was probably like the first album that was for me. Which if you've never heard, boy, what were some on there? On Broadway was good. They had... Okay, I don't remember what the song was, but I remember the joke because they're going down the hallway and they go, hey, look at the sign. It's Jimmy's Buffet. And then they go in there and it's just like, hey, how you doing? No, sorry, I'm Jimmy Buffett. And it's like, oh, all right, well, I am hungry, so I'm going to go down the hall because I saw another sign that said meatloaf, so I'm going to check there. And I'm just like, oh... Boy, they give these musical artists some real silly names, don't they, Abbott? What was it? Muppets on Broadway. Weird Al Running with Scissors. That was that's the track, or that is the album that opened with The Saga Begins, which is the Weird Al parody of American Pie, but with Star Wars lyrics, and a lot shorter than American Pie itself is, I'm pretty sure. This is another song that has a longer outro than you would expect. There's that smile. There's that award-winning smile. I have not won an award for my smile.
The song just keeps going. If I were the dynamic front man, I could also be playing or whatever while I'm singing or waiting, but
And Big Willie style. The Will Smith album, Big Willie style, that was okay, so the first four albums, I don't quite remember the order, but it was the Muppets on Broadway, Running with Scissors, what's the one that I just said?
What the heck? Is there
I completely just lost it.
Singer challenges, none. Thank you. Wait, they were on automatic? Oh, was nobody setting those off? Okay.
And Eiffel 65 Blue.
Okay.
And the one that I can't remember, even though I just said it like 20 seconds ago. Those were like the first four albums that I really remember like owning and being mine.
Cool. Hey, you want to know what makes me really comfortable? Singing songs from my childhood, which is kind of weird when I think about this as a song from my childhood, but you know what song I really like? This one.
I really like this. It's funny. Semi-Charmed Life is, like I was just saying, it was like track 3 on one of the albums, the CDs that my dad had. So I sort of got into Third Eye Blind very early. And I stayed into Third Eye Blind for a long, long time. I'm still a Third Eye Blind fan. It's one of the only like. My thought is like AAA in the sense of like AAA games, but then saying like AAA bands, like bands whose album you would buy at Sam Goody as compared to bands whose CD you buy at the show where they played, and it's like a writable CD with the band's name sharpied on it, like the sort of difference there.
Like a freak show takes the stage. We give in the games to play. She says, "I want something else to get me through this."
But this is
baby, I want.
But I didn't even get into this song. I was a fan of this before I listened to it on the album, because this was everywhere on the radio. And I don't know why, but I have a very vivid memory of listening to, and you know, this is not going to make any sense. This is like a very personal memory for me, but where I used to live was not that far from PS1 down in Queens, and not too far from that was a gas station at, I want to say it was like a 5-corner crossroads, with a gas station right in the middle of it, sort of like on the island or whatever. But I remember being at that gas station, the smell of gas, this song coming on the radio at the gas station, and there was a building across the street from the gas station that had a mural on the wall that was just Bart Simpson. Just that's it. I don't know why, but for some reason this song and that memory, that mix of like the smell of gas, that specific location. I don't even know if that location exists anymore. It's that gas station probably been torn down and replaced with a condo at this point. PS1 isn't even the PS1 I remember.
To feel alive. Now I'm struggling.
But it just like this song. Like I have a lot of different memories tied to Third Eye Blind. Like every album I have different memories tied to. This is how sort of like deep Third Eye Blind has been like tied into my life, and you know, just been with me all along through different albums and different periods of my own life and all of that. But specifically, this song always brings me back to that moment. I had to be, so this was while we were still living in the city, and we moved when I was 10. So I was like single digits years old, and this is a memory that it just flings me back to
get me through this.
And that's the thing. It sends me back that far, but talking about, you know, when I realized, oh, we already have this album and I can be listening to these songs and like hearing them consistently enough to start memorizing them. Like that wasn't till later. That might not have been till like after we moved even, really. And
goodbye.
So like even the other songs on this album are tied to completely different memories for me. I cannot hit that. I cannot hit those high notes. But
do 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 do. The sky was gold. It was grows. I was taking sips of it through my nose.
Nope.
I wish that I could back there.
So
in the place we used to start.
Yeah, no, normally you hold that word longer. Good. So right now, as I record this, it's December 21. This is Extra Life from November 2020. And the reason it's taken me more than a year to get these archives up is specifically to deal with this specific archive. To do the DMCA safe dramatic read and to do this commentary track.
I certainly hit something there. Or maybe
and like here's the thing, it became so long, and you know, as soon as I had like another year's worth of Extra Life archives to upload and post, I have to upload them in order. It's a thing in my brain. I just got to do it.
was there something that I wanted to do?
And so it's just a matter of like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it, and it got to the point. I could tell in those records when I was like stumbling over a line or I got a lyric wrong, because I wasn't. I don't have a teleprompter. I'm just staring at the camera for these videos. I am just staring at this little black dot that's staring back at me.
5 days since you laughed at me, saying, get back together, come back and see me.
And it got to the point where I was just like, okay, you know what? I've been sitting on this for a year. I just need to get these done. So I felt myself stumble, and I was like, I might want to do a reshoot of that. We'll see how I feel about it in the edit. And how I felt about it in the edit was, no, I do not care. I need to just get these done.
Rhymes, because I'm all about value. Bert Camper's got the mad hits. You try to match switch. You try to hold me, but I bust through. Gonna make a break and take a fake. I like a stinking it and shake. I like vanilla. It's the finest of the flavors. Gonna see the show, cause then you know the vertigo is gonna grow, cause it's so dangerous you'll have to sign a waiver. How can I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad?
And you know, then when I nail that, it's just like, all right, you know what? That's good enough.
Can't understand what I mean? Well, you soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on.
I actually, so similarly to Third Out to Semi-Charmed Life, Bare Naked Ladies 1 Week is another song from my probably single digits years old memories. I remember sitting in my grandmother's house and this song came on the radio, and I was like completely tuned out until the line about boom anime babes. And then I immediately tuned in and I was like, well, this is one of my new favorite bands because they mentioned Sailor Moon. And I've always been a big fan of Sailor Moon. That show really
like Kurosawa, I make mad films. Okay, I don't make films, but if I did, they'd have a samurai. Gonna get a set of better clubs, tiny just so my arms are always flying off the backswing. Gonna get into Sailor Moon Attacker 2, got the boom anime babes. You got it. You gotta. It's the thing. Like, but like that's the thing. Like. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm a simple bitch. I'm a basic bitch. And I've liked Sailor Moon since, since it aired on Toonami and TBS. So what was that, like 96, 94, something like that? It was very important to me growing up. It's still important to me now. I've gone back to do, I'm in the middle of rewatching the series, and like, yo, it still hits. It still hits right here. So as soon as the song says it, it's just like, oh, that thing said the thing that I like. So now I like this thing now. It's like, all right, that's not really a rational way to make to like things, but it's how brains work. It's dumb. Everybody does it though. Sometimes it's just more blatant than other times.
I don't think that is how it goes in the song. I don't think they some of these
right, and I actually had a problem with this karaoke version of 1 Week, because normally there's like a 25-30 second break in the middle as they go from the second chorus to the second verse. There's a bridge, an instrumental bridge that they just cut out for this karaoke version. So you finish the second verse, there's like 2 bars, and then you go immediately into Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken.
In the actual version of the song, there's a much longer bridge between the end of the...
Okay, so I don't have as many thoughts in my head as I thought I did. All right, so this is not... You could have just listened to the original. Fine. I could just be quiet during these segments. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That is the first time I actually got that right. So,
but yeah, Bare Naked Ladies had a similar thing where it was like, okay, here's this one song that I heard on the radio, and anytime I hear that song, it sends me back to that moment of sitting in my grandmother's kitchen. But then I did end up getting the album for it, and it's just like, what is it? Who Needs Sleep? And no, Pinch Me was on the next album. But like I did get into Bare Naked Ladies at that point, and there's a lot of songs between those 2 albums, and I like a lot of them.
Versus the rhinoceros.
Oh, we're up to this already. Oh boy. But yeah, Bare Naked Ladies similar track to me than as Third Eye Blind, but Third Eye Blind has always meant more.
I'm the mother flippin' rhinoceros. My beats are fat and
I was waiting for the music to kick in. I forgot that this is the version without music.
I hit you with my flow. The wild rhino
I like the glasses. I think the glasses were a good bit, especially because she did not see me put them on in between.
The hip hop hippo. They call me the hip hopopotamus. My lyrics are bottomless.
I like bits. I don't know if you know this. I like bits, and I love this bit. So I love the bit of duetting with myself, first of all, but being in like the matching shutter shades. I love this. I just love this shot.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the thing is, for the duetted ones, I had a different camera setup. I have a camera mounted to the mic arm so that it would be a different setup camera shot from the one that I knew I'd be doing live. Man, look at me dance over there.
Records they don't get played because my records end.
See, and then this also matches like I'm trying to do characters here because the Brett and Jermaine of Flight of the Conchords, when they do this, it's like, yeah, no, the rhinoceros is like the active one, and the hippopotamus is the like low energy, the base, the like anchor of the two. So I'm trying to do that with
Why? Because I rap about reality. Like
I also just like this song. It's fun, but like I'm trying to do those sort of characters in the two takes here.
I'm the mother flipping.
I think it plays.
I'm the mother flipping. Who's the mother flipping? I'm the mother.
Also,
flipping.
I do gotta say,
I'm the mother flipping.
This is the first of
mother flipping.
Do I do 2 or 3 duets in this karaoke? I forget. But I had to pre-record the first half of the duets, so that way they would be there for me to sort of load up to do during the stream. Between me pre-recording them and me doing the stream, other randos came in and finished those duets, and I was just like, wow, cool. And here's the thing, randos on the internet is a dangerous game to play, but people seem to all be great. Like I was just like, ooh, but then they were like, oh yeah, you're fine. So that like it was just like final minutes realization that like, oh, there's like a cool community in this weird karaoke thing, and like more than just the more than just this like service being lost, but we are losing, community is being quote unquote abandoned here. And it was like, it's like, oh, that made it extra, like I was already sad about it, and then I was like, oh, here's this thing I didn't even realize that was, a part of this that's cool, and now it's also going to be lost. It just added another level of sadness. This was a very like bittersweet might be the word, but this was a very bittersweet segment of Afterlife, because it was just like, this was a good time to do, everything around it was a good time, and like this was both a celebration and a mourning. It was. I'm a little sad right now watching it.
The boy said, "My name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet."
I think I think I did a really good job nailing this. I've had other people tell me that I do a good job with this, partly because there's very little singing in Devil Went Down to Georgia, but there is a lot of words, and I cannot help but do like character voices, lift for Johnny, drop for the devil, and then you have the narrator sort of neutral in the middle. I cannot help but do those. Like,
fire flew from his fingertips as he rosined up his bow, and he pulled that bow across the strings. And
like, I had to suppress that instinct for the dramatic reading. It was weird, but like that's part of like. I just clicked again. See, now I'm aware of it, but I catch it too late. I can't preempt it. To me, the fun part of singing is basically the same fun part of like Rock Band. It is about this, like, it's not just the memorization, but it's the matching it, which I think would make me a bad actual like singer in a band, because especially when you're doing live sets, a lot of the fun about it is like, sort of a little bit of like, crowd work and like a little bit of improv and a little bit of like easing up. And there's, you sort of, as different performances, you play with these songs a little bit differently, and you bring, different performances have different energy. And that's not how I approach music and singing when I do it. I do it as a sort of like pattern matching, parroting thing. To me, the best thing is like I hear the original song in my head and I need to match that. Which again, we'll get to this later, because a later song coming up, spoiler alert, whatever. Later song coming up is Brian Wilson by Bare Naked Ladies. I don't know the album version of that. The version that I memorized is a live performance. I prefer it to the album version, but like that's the only version I can do now because that's the version I know. And I have to match it like it becomes this weird thing where it's just like, hey, we're gonna add in these like extra vocalizations for this particular live performance because we're just really feeling it tonight. And I memorize that, and I have to hit those like improv things exactly, which is like antithetical. It's weird. Like, I know it's a weird thing about me, but like that is how my brains work. But that's also why, like, you look at the songs that I picked here. I started with 9 in the Afternoon, which was sort of like a simpler song, kind of a vocal warm-up because it wasn't particularly complex, but it was actual singing. Then into Green Day, which is a little in between, and then fell even further, and it's just like, okay, Semi-Charmed Life, 1 Week, Devil Went Down to Georgia. Now it's a point of we're doing songs that are less about singing and more about almost reciting in a bit. Like, a really satisfying song to me to sing is one where you don't really sing, but one where you have to like hit it. You have to keep the pacing. You got to land on the right syllables, and like something where the challenge is to keep pace with the original version. So a lot of like, there isn't too much rap that I like. Oh, right. Yeah, I had to do this, didn't I? I had to go in and make sure that we play Dress Up.
Of course, I want all of the money and all of the stuff, because, like,
I do love to play Dress Up, and I gotta say, this game even had like good, sort of like non-gendered options. It's just like, hey, what kind of body shape? What kind of, anybody can have a crop top. Anybody can have, wide hips. Some good stuff. It's just good stuff in there.
Somebody started one. Somebody ended one. It was me. It was me every time. Okay.
Maybe that didn't happen until after that. Because again, this was November, and then all of December was left before they shut Twitch things down. So maybe it was in that last month. All right.
I actually feel that I am not good at, but I feel that doing this one is sort of mandatory, because this is the one song that I have actually performed live with a band in front of a crowd, and that crowd was very nice and not immediately booing me off the stage, because I'm sure I sung it terribly, and I was like nervous, and I had never done it before, and I was just like, I might be able to do that, and we did it. But I'm gonna do it here tonight. So shout out to Scott and Justin and whatever else happened at that party, because it is time for my own worst enemy, which perhaps I am, because I just said this is a song that I don't feel I am good at, that I just hit play on. So here we go.
All right. Now, okay, this I can do, because I mentioned there that this is a song that I did perform live with a band, at I want to say it was a birthday party I think it was at Scott's house. I don't remember if it was Scott or Justin's birthday or somebody else. There was a lot going on that day. Here's the events of that party as I remember it. There was a pool, and 5 different people tried to grab me by the arms and chuck me into the pool, but weighing over 250 pounds since high school,
The car is in the front
They
yard.
failed, and I managed to throw all 5 of them into the pool with various just sort of like my feet are planted and you're hanging onto my arm, so I just need to swing you and you go flying. There was one cool come at me and like back roll judo throw, and all 5 of them are in the pool and I'm still dry on land. I'm like, you failed. Now I will get in the pool and jump in. That's one of my proudest high school party moments.
The smoke alarm
and
still burning.
yes, a bunch of them. So, my high school had a pretty decent like local band scene. The same couple dozen kids who would like swap around on a regular basis, and who's in the band this week, it's like which combination are trying to do a band now. Okay, cool. And so I don't think they were in a band. They might have been, I think they were just like friends, and they were just like, yeah, no, we're just gonna like jam a little bit. And they were like, okay, here's something we've looked up the
please tell me why.
The like what do you call them, the fretting charts for, and it was like, okay, and we actually did 2 songs. We did My Own Worst Enemy by Lit and Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. And they were like, well, we have this, does anybody know these songs to sing? And I said, I probably do.
Now and then I kicked the lift,
and I bet I did a terrible job.
Can we forget about the
but nobody gave me shit for it, and that was, I have good memories of that time. Weird, like, for being a high school party, and I had a very rough time socializing in high school. Not just because, you have fights with friends and all of that, but because I felt I struggled to have friends, and I never had the fights, and it's like, I feel like I'm doing it wrong. But that was a good time, and that was like one of the times I felt coolest in high school. So like, again, I never got better at singing that song, but that's like that is a, like, that singing Lit is my version of like seeing if the varsity jacket from the game where I scored the winning touchdown still fits. That's my version of it.
I feel like it's Avatar. It's karaoke, so we have to put a Smash Mouth song on it, and my love of All Star has already been known. But here's the thing, big swerve. I'm doing Walking on the Sun.
So, All Star. Okay. First of all, I suppose Get Fucked, Mr. Smash Mouth Man, main man. You're not part of the band anymore. That's cool. I don't know if you ever ate the eggs, whether you did or not. Fuck you. I hope you get better. But so, Smash Mouth kind of got,
hey, I know it's just a song,
but it's spice for the recipe. This is a love attack.
I
don't quite remember, because so like I think for a lot of people, basically what happened was like Smash Mouth did the cover of I'm a Believer at the end of Shrek or Shrek 2, and I think a lot of people like knew them from that. That is what kind of meme-ified them.
If you're still alive, 6 to 8 years.
But
and if you follow, there may
like, don't forget that All Star was on the soundtrack for Mystery Men, I want to say a few years before Shrek. I don't know if that timeline worked out. Don't quote me on that. But I actually knew them because, again, talking about CDs that I got from my dad's collection as I was getting into realizing what albums were. This Fushumeng was the album that my dad had, and so I actually already knew about them long before they were on meme-ified movie soundtracks. So I knew Walking on the Sun. I knew
because fashion is the true meaning of it.
A song where they're like parodying The Godfather, the one about
allow, if you're still alive, 6 to 8 years.
The neighbor's gonna call the landlord, and we're gonna get the old heave ho. Connect the dots. They do a good cover of Why Can't We Be Friends? Is that a cover or is that the one? I won't be real with y'all. There's a lot of songs where I know the cover, but I don't know that it's a cover. It's happened to me a lot, and I always feel like a fool when I realize that the only version I've ever known is a cover.
Handkerchief is soaked with her tears because her baby's life has been revoked.
But this was Fu Shuming. All Star didn't come out till the next album, which was Astro Lounge, which this one was definitely more like a sort of like wanting to be dirty punks. Like Fu Shuming, Smash Mouth would have been fans of Tyler Durden in Fight Club. I feel like very One Paper Mill Street kind of idolizing boys.
6 to 8 years to arrive.
And then Astro Lounge
But
had a little bit of that, but it definitely chilled out. Astro Lounge felt a little more like a bowling shirt kind of vibe. When the Morning Comes, All Star. What else is on that album? Roadman. Just like a lot more chill, a lot more. It's Astro Lounge, but like, yeah, kind of a little more like loungy music. If anybody's familiar with the W's, who are like a Christian ska band, I don't think they are anything like that in that sense. But what do you call it? The W's had an album called Fourth from Last, where on the cover they were where they were in a bowling alley and wearing matching bowling shirts, and that's probably the only reason that I'm comparing it. Forget everything else. That's what my brain is doing. Don't trust it. But yeah, Astro Lounge is where they got sort of where they changed into a band who you might later come to think of just like, oh, that Guy Fieri band. No, but I get where we're coming from now.
Hey, has that second cooled off yet? Also, let me know in the chat. When you're doing Twitch Sings by itself, you have the opportunity to like balance the vocals against the music afterwards.
Oh, hey, that was in the record. I just cracked something on the record. Oh, I wonder what I was having. There's a good chance it was another one of these. Hashtag non-spawn.
Past the halfway point of my set list, but here we are now. So let me know when you get the chance. I was a fan of. I was an earnest fan of Smash Mouth before they kind of became a meme, I guess, is the moral of that whole last bit. Oh, that is pleasant. Oh boy,
what am I having?
Real Donald Pleasance right there.
Donald Pleasance, what a pull!
By which I mean a good egg. Why would I mean that?
Because he's bald. He looks kind of like an egg. Am I hilarious or just a huge dork? It's like the there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. I think it's a similar kind of line that I'm treading with the things that I say on stream.
The Shrek Surge, some might call it. Hi, I'm Shrek Surge, and I'm attempting to be a teenager.
Oh god.
But that's part of the secret of it is that I was a Smash Mouth fan before Shrek, before All Star. I was back in the let's see here. It was Astro Lounge.
Yeah, so everything that you just got the long version of.
I guess All Star was on All Star, or was that on something else? The point is, like, I was from it back on the album before the All Star album, so that means I come from a certain era. And putting together this list, the ones that I actually went with, like, I was trying to go for ones that I thought
I come from a certain era is like, normally that's a phrase that you use to sort of excuse your grandparents for being using super racist terms. It's like oh, they come from a different era. It's like
we're all kind of from the same era. And you might notice this by the way that we're going from Smash Mouth into Save Tonight by Eagle Eye Cherry.
this was a song. What do I have to say about Save Tonight?
Ooh.
I stand by it. The dramatic reading is a good bit. Listen to it without me yapping over it. It's a bit that pays off.
You and me.
And a bottle of wine. Gonna hold you tonight. Oh yeah. Well, we know I'm going away. Learning to sing songs like Save Tonight sort of tricked me into thinking that maybe I could be sort of a overly romantic Don Juan type. I've never read Don Juan, so I don't know if Don Juan was particularly romantic or just
tomorrow I'll be gone.
Persnickety? Nope. Promiscuous. That's the word I'm looking for.
Tomorrow I'll be gone. There's a log on the fire, and it burns like me for you.
But yeah, so sort of the idea of just like, hey girl, come here. I can be the support that you've always wanted, and you will miss me, and I will miss you, and that's what that is. God, what is even the thing about that? It's not like, it's not something you offer, but it is like,
and Lord, I wish it wasn't so.
Save tonight. Fight the break of dawn. Come tomorrow. It's maybe like one of the only
Save tonight
sort of like traditionally accepted forms of male vulnerability is the idea of like, oh, I am hurt by separation, which, you know, can be taken the bad way or taken to bad ends of just like, oh, well, by breaking up with me you hurt me, so that's why it's okay that I'm vengeful. Like, no, that's not good. That's a bad form of it. But this idea of like, it's like, yeah, no, I'm showing you that I'm sensitive by showing you my vulnerabilities, by letting you know that, oh, the idea that I will miss you, that makes me a romantic, is being able to show any sort of like sadness.
Come tomorrow.
Man, hey, there's a lot of
fight the break of dawn.
Come tomorrow. Toxic masculinity is real, and I'll try not to get too into it here because apparently my takes on it are kind of hot. I'm coming to learn. But like,
I'll be gone.
Save tonight. To my mind,
come tomorrow?
There's toxic masculinity.
I'll be gone.
And the idea that anything that
I'll be gone
is masculine but not part of like the toxic subset isn't really masculine. It is neutral traits. So really all like masculinity is toxic masculinity. And it's bad. Don't teach boys to destroy themselves. Teach boys empathy, not pride. Further, teach everyone empathy and care and consideration, and pride will probably come anyway. Save tonight. Save tonight. Okay, this is going to be a turn. There was a time when I really considered like, hey, could I manage to get through like seminary school and just like, yeah, that's something. Did you expect to hear me say that? I don't even expect to hear me say that. But to be like, oh, this idea of like theology and like moral philosophy kind of studies. But this idea of like, where was I about to go with this? The ideas of like, readings of, Jesus in the Bible about like, oh, there are a lot of just being able to like say with a very say with a confidence, talking about like, okay, there's like there are Christian lessons of servitude, that we are, everyone is inherently, your brother's keeper, and also everyone is your brother. This idea of like our, and that's a piece of my sort of religious upbringing that I kept, and it says like, oh, take care of one another. That's a good lesson. But then, you know, you look at it like, okay, but did it ever really teach sort of servitude and selflessness in a way that says let yourself get stepped on? And it's like, well, you know, if you get hit, just turn the other cheek. But it's like, actually turn the other cheek. You know, I like the idea that, and I've only heard it really once, but it really stuck with me because it made a lot of sense. But the idea that turn the other cheek is actually it is a sort of political move. It's the reason you turn the other cheek isn't to just take whatever ills are thrown at you, but it is to be like, oh, you just hit me? Go ahead, hit me again. Show everyone the kind of person you are. Show everyone that you're the kind of person in power who use that to abuse the little guys. Like it's actually like, I don't want to say snap back because I don't know if that's the right word, but it is actually like a turn the other cheek is actually meant in a form of like civil disobedience. It is like, make yourself the martyr to give others the opportunity to realize whether they are evil or not. It is not about, you know, non-violence. It is about, it's like, really? Are you, hey, here's the thing to let you know, you're the evil one right now, not me. Like they're like that is, it's like a weird take that I don't think many people get into. And sort of in the similar vein, like the flip side of that is like, you know, everyone's like, oh, even Jesus got mad. Look at when he drove out the traders in the temple. And it's like traders like commerce, not like I'm not as ugly. Napoleon blown apart. Nope. The other one, Mr. Belvedere. Nope. Or am I origami? Benedict Cumberbatch.
Who's the guy who betrayed Washington?
I would swallow my pride. I would choke on the rinds, but the lack thereof. I don't know if she's listening. I would swallow my doubt. Yeah, but you know, that kind of. But good, like, you know, people just be like, oh, you know, so sometimes like violence is okay, and it's just like, I've never heard a good argument about like what the lesson to take from that moment was. So there was a part of me that like really wanted to like get into and just be like, no, actually, let's talk about what the actual like morals and lessons in context of those moments are.
I alone and the one you don't know you need to feed.
And that's enough talking about the Bible for.
Make me blind when your eyes close. Sink when we get close.
Well, Christmas is coming up.
I alone and the one you don't
you know what? We can. If you're interested in that, let me know. We can have that conversation another day. We don't have to have that today.
Tie me to the bedpost.
I would swallow my pride. I would choke on the rinds. The lack thereof. This is another song that I, you know, knew from the radio, and eventually I was just like, oh right, I can look up other things that a band has done. When it was like, it's like, oh, I can just search the internet freely now. Cool, interesting. This is what I'll use it for. Find music. E6 is all right. I don't know if there's any like sort of mimetic stigma attached to them. But this was one that was easy for me to learn at a young age, so it's always sort of stuck with me. And something about the line, the tick-tock of the clock is painful, I want to tear it off the wall. All sane and logical. Like, so like that line, and then you go to something like Harvey Danger Flagpole Sitter. There was a long period where I got very into songs about like, I feel like I'm losing my mind, and
my shift for today is over. But here's the problem. I still see a handful of songs on my set list, so I ain't going nowhere yet.
Oh yeah, we got miles to go before we sleep. But yeah, I definitely had a period. So Harvey Danger. There was that song Institutionalized. I forget who did it. I think it was on a Beavis and Butthead segment once. That's the one where all I wanted was a Pepsi, just one Pepsi, if you know that song. MI6, How to Be an Idiot. That's a song about trying to commit suicide and messing up every time. some System of a, I don't know if System of a Down songs really count, but talking about like uh there's definitely a similar vibe in those, in something like Prison is the one that comes to mind for me.
But right here, it's time for the Violent Femmes. How about that? How do you like them apples?
I think I got over that at some point, or I got like too into it when I was just like, all right, let me go Story of the Year and AFI and some other stuff. And listen, there was another life, another timeline where I could have been serious emo scene kid, and there, but for the grace of God, go I guess.
When I'm walking,
I strut my stuff, and I'm so strung out. But as it stands, I just know a lot of these songs, and they still hold a place in my heart, but inside, not on the outside.
Let me go on.
Big Hands, I know you're the one. I don't understand this song. Like in general, and sort of like in a cultural context kind of way. Like, I don't know where I know this song from. I don't know when this song is from.
Let me go on.
This is a song I probably only knew from the radio. For some reason, this song makes me think of the MS-DOS game Pickle Wars for a reason that I can't really explain. To me, this song is very Star Road. Which, by the way, Star Road is a concept that I need to do like a explainer video series, like a thesis essay style video about.
I strut my stuff.
But like, there's something about the song. Like, this song doesn't exist. This song is
When I'm walking, I strut my stuff.
It's like the opposite of Kazam, you know, the movie where Sinbad plays a genie or something. That's not real. It's a conflation of like three other things. This is like the opposite of that. Like, this is a song that doesn't exist, but yeah, here it is.
She's starting to cry. When I'm walking, I strut my stuff.
We have to be quiet right here. This is the quiet part of the song for the gag that's about to come up.
Let me go on. Like I blister in the sun.
I'm pretty sure. So, I spent a long time.
I know you're the one.
It turns out I love like curating playlists. When I first went to college, there was a thing about like, hey, it's your like first week here. Here are some clubs that you could go check out. And I went to the radio station, and I never stuck around. I never made it on air. Okay, technically I was on air once. Technically I've been on the radio like 3 or 4 times. That can be a story for another time. Remind me to tell it one day. But the idea of just like, curating a playlist, like being like, okay, what feels like a good flow? How do you make them tell a story? How do you like pace the energy of different songs, if you know what I mean? That has always been something that I love doing. That is an exercise I really enjoy participating in. That is really satisfying to do. And very specifically, this is the first song. This is a song that, like for like a couple of weeks, I was putting together like, okay, what songs do I think I can sing? What can I bring down into like an hour and change for, you know, plus or minus in between banter. And you know, what is the energy going to be? It's going to be late in, you know, at the end of the shift, halfway through the total thing, yada, 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 like figuring out like, okay, how can I arrange these songs so that it will be fun to do, so that it will make sense, that it will be, you know, this playlist that is like this sub-segment of this bigger thing going on. Honestly, even just doing the segments for Extra Life and considering that as like one long like playlist album, to be like, oh, here is you know, we're going to start with this game, then we're going to go into this game, and then we're going to bring it down, and then we're going to have a guest star, and then we're going to have this other thing, and then, you know, Twitch sings like, and then we're going to end on a big musical number, which is a Twitch sing segment. Like it's levels upon levels, and I love doing that, and I take it very seriously. But I'm pretty sure I made sure to put Blister in the Sun in that specific spot, because that is now at the midnight hour. That is, you know, the time on the schedule where it's like we're going to end, we can go to bed, we'll start again in the morning. And I put it there in the middle of this segment to be like, okay, also this, because that song has that part in it where you just quiet down and you go quieter down and then you go loud, and the going loud is like, no, this is here because the gag is we're going to go quiet because it's sleepy time, it's the middle of the night, and then we go loud and we wake your ass up. And I'm just like, yes, it's bits on bits on bits on bits. This right here, this is another level of bit. I love it. And I'm thinking about, what was I thinking about? Okay, so here's the song I was talking about before. This is Brian Wilson. And everybody listening, what I'm doing is the live version that I know. Not the album version, not the music video version or what have you, right? I'm lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did. So this is like also one of the ones where like, right, you hold that note for a while. Right. This is the one where you probably notice I least follow the lyrics. I'll be out in the sandbox, just wondering, where the hell has all the love gone? Playing my guitar, building castles in the sun. Whoa, oh. And just singing fun, fun, fun. I'm lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did. Well, see, the problem is when he talks about sitting in a sandbox, playing my guitar and building castles in the sun. Oh. I don't know if this is coincidence or if there's some like cyclic nature of cultural context, but that line makes me think of home movies because there is that thing about very heavy. I floated till I couldn't see Brendan going to the sandbox. This is like meditation spot where he does like where he goes to think and mull things over for his whatever he's doing. And the thing is like, somebody help me. I doubt that is referencing this or this. There's no way that this is referencing that. I doubt this is referencing this, but odds are both of them are referencing a third thing that I have no idea about. Except in this vague, I can imagine it way because humans are pattern seeking creatures. Oh, yeah. Drove downtown in the rain. I won't look it up. Maybe one day I will, but on a Tuesday night. I am pretty content enjoying the things that are in front of me. Record shop. Call it impulsive. Call it convulsive. Call it insane. When I'm surrounded, I just can't stop. Is this where ooh, golly, sorry. Is this the part where okay. I like the song a lot, but it has a hell of an outro that just goes. So okay, this is another part of the bit because once I did figure out the playlist for this, I made it like a playlist that I would just listen to sort of on loop idly to practice everything for this bit. This is not a karaoke segment that I did haphazardly. I put a lot of thought into it and like practice and stuff, and I'm still this bad at singing it. But you know what? Not for lack of heart. But yeah, just doing the listening to the song enough time and realizing how much time do I have during this outro, and like, yes, it's enough time to go get a drink. Again, bits on bits on bits.
Oh boy. Okay, now we go into one which I'm still not like super confident in myself on, but actually, I don't know. When I listened back to it on my testing out a bunch of these, I did better than I thought I would do. Nope, not that one. The different one. Hang on, that
There's
one.
a lot of maps.
I didn't know there were other maps on this service.
So the only reason I know this song in the first place is because of Rock Band, and we did this song a lot in college. And hey, by the way, the dramatic reading bit, everything's a bit. Like I said, and I said it earlier, I can't be anything but brutally honest. But without giving myself huge anxiety, I am not an actor. I cannot inhabit a character. This is absolutely the best song to listen to the dramatic reading version of, because it's just enough. Oh, say, say, say. 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 Wait, they don't love you like I love you. Wait, they don't love you like I love you. Maps. Wait, they don't love you like I love you. That's why. Sometimes a song can be real good in a way that makes you not realize just how ridiculous the lyrics are directly. It's back up. That's comedy. That's comedy. It's subversion. It's just like, oh no, this is ridiculous actually. Just tweak the context a little bit. Wait. They don't love you like I love you. Wait. They don't love you like I love you. Maps. I'm just... They don't love you like I love you. A year in the making, and this is just making myself laugh. You know what? It must be good. It's... Maps. Wait. I don't care if it's a bad look to laugh at your own jokes, but it works for me. All the effort, it pays off. This is worth it. This is good. I do want to do more karaoke. I really do. There's no karaoke places around here. Now I'm kind of left to just, you got to do the YouTube karaoke, which, God bless people. God bless people out there doing the work. There are a lot of karaoke versions of songs just up on YouTube. I don't know how they get away with it. But they don't love you like I love you. You can do pretty well if you got like a mic and an amp and TV going into like a sound system. You can get that balancing right, and you can do karaoke right in your own home, and it's decent. You might not be able to get every song you want, but you'll get most of the songs that you can think of. Like I love you. Surprisingly. Although going to a karaoke place is really fun. You get drunk. I could just have beers and do karaoke. See, the problem is like karaoke is best with a group. You need at least like 3 folks, maybe. You need enough that when a song comes on that everybody knows, you get that like Greek chorus thing going on.
What you gonna do about it?
Okay.
That is such a big XP drop, and it's still like barely.
All those rewards that I never finished. All those dress up options that I never was able to buy.
I'll just say that now.
Okay, so hey there, Delilah.
Let's see if I remember the bit at the end.
I think it's fun to sing because I think it is very sort of compared to my standards, which again, semi-charmed, 1 week, whatever. Hey there, like Delilah. This is way more What's it like in New York City? Melodical. Especially at the end where it's just a matter of like hitting the notes.
Tonight you look so pretty.
Yes, you do. Even though
can't shine as bright as you.
it is. So here's the thing, right? Like, this song kind of like lives in my mind near like Save Tonight, where it's that idea of like it's not exactly a ballad, but it is like romantic. It is like, you know, singing to a girl and sort of like singing about your relationship and your connection. But this is definitely more of a shitty white boy version of it. That never bothered me so much. And I fully admit that this is because I'm probably, you know, I clearly have some shitty white boy genes in me. I try to suppress them as much as possible, but, you know, some things just connect.
Hey there, Delilah.
It happens.
I know times are getting hard.
But just believe me, girl. Someday, it really is the part where like, this dude is a lot more sort of braggadocious in his lyrics, because he's like, you know, I miss you too, but don't worry, I kick ass, and one day everyone else will realize it too. That's the shitty white boy part about it.
Would take your breath away.
Save Tonight doesn't really have that. Save Tonight is like,
even more in love with me, you would fall.
I don't want to say Save Tonight is a little more gangster, but it is sort of this idea of just like,
it's what you do.
It's just like, yeah, this sucks, but you know, what are you gonna do? I gotta do it. Which I think maybe not like thuggish, but it is like more manly. It is more like, you know, slave to.
Mile seems pretty far, but they've got
planes and trains and cars.
And I'd
like a little more slave to obligation and responsibility in a way.
Our friends would all make fun of us, but we'll just laugh along because we know that
and so the weird part is like, both of these in my head also like live upstairs from Shaggy's It Wasn't Me, because that again is a song about like a guy singing about a relationship. And honestly, like, Shaggy sucks in that song, and the main guy sucks in that song, but like, he at least has had that breakdown in the middle where he's like, no, I was a shit, and I'm gonna admit it, and I'm gonna own up to it, and we'll take it from there.
Hey there, Delilah.
And just like, and actually, dude, like, your advice would just make things worse. And like, I have to give that dude partial credit, because he does have this realization of like, you have to like, yeah, if you was shit, you gotta, you know, sort of take responsibility and own it. Like, he is somebody who like there's a part about Save Tonight where I feel like, but you know, I gotta go. I wish it wasn't so, but I gotta go. Like, doesn't like there's this weird thing about like almost giving in to the like needed, or like not fighting hard enough about having to go, and it's just like, oh, I wish it wasn't so. Well, what are you gonna do? Like, almost like there's a part that's like relieved, or just gonna be like, just like, lets it just be like, no, I'm not gonna fight against this. This is gonna happen no matter what. And like, maybe that's not the thing, but like there's a part like, there's that, but then there's the like, okay, so there's a part of me that expects that Save Tonight main character is a little relieved to have the excuse of having to go, to just be like, it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna move on from this, but I'm gonna tell you that I'm gonna miss you and that this sucks, but we should, like, you know, really take advantage of tonight before it all goes away, right? Like, there's something that's a little icky about that. I don't know.
Yeah, so if you didn't like,
that's just my read, and Don't
worry,
I've got weird reads on things I've been told.
Yes, trying to do it. It's not trending. I just did it. There's a reason I did this as a duet, and I'm not sure. I think it's because the way that the chorus cuts off the verses. And I like it because when it's like this, it's like I'm versus myself. Whatever, let's do it. The song rad.
This was a weird song to do. Like, again, Sugar Ray was another like CD from my dad's collection that I sort of picked up on. What was
When
the
it's over.
Fly? Sugar Ray's Fly is the one that I heard on the radio with Super Cat Riding True. And that's where I sort of picked them up from, but like it did go on to, you know, God, who are the other, what are the other Sugar Ray songs?
And when you go,
Go.
I know.
I have not thought about Sugar Ray in a
never
minute.
ends.
Wow. I'm definitely getting Sugar Ray confused
All the
with like
things that
311
I
a
used
little
to
bit,
say,
because 311 went from like
gotten away.
all mixed up Jack-o'-lantern
I used to
weather
know,
to
gone out the
Amber, and that was like a hell of a turn.
All the things that she
Sugar
used
Ray
to
feels
do,
like it could have done Amber,
all the
but
songs that she used to sing.
they didn't. That was 311. I don't know what happened to Sugar Ray. There
Gone
was
out
definitely
the
something
window.
else.
I'm missing you.
But yeah, this was a weird song because it does like
I never knew how much you love me.
the way that the lyrics
I'm
are
missing you.
sort of layered with themselves. You
I never
can't
knew.
do it all as one because, you know, they
need
overlap each other.
And when you go,
But even doing this as
I
a
know.
duet, like the way it decides,
ends.
like I memorize all of this as like a one singing, so I would
All the
just
words that-
drop the line to do the next one.
All the things
So
that
I
she
would
used to know,
like doing this
gone
duet,
out
even with the words on screen about which one to sing, I
all
would
the
be
things
messing
that
up
she used to bring,
which one,
all the songs that she used to
you know,
sing.
which one I'm singing now and which one I'll sing later.
I'm wishing you. You never said you were pretending. I'm wishing you'd feel the same and just come back to me. I need you. And when you go, I know it never ends.
I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly,
And when it's
I
over,
am snacking on
Can I still
Nestle
come over?
Bunch of Crunch there, which I do like, and
when it's over,
I'm pretty sure
is it really over?
I had to make a concerted effort again for a bit, because I was snacking on them in the pre-record,
That's it.
so I had to not finish them before the stream, so that way I could snack out of the same bag on both halves of the duet. It makes me laugh. You know what? Forget the rest of y'all. This stuff makes me laugh, so it's worth it.
All the songs that she used to sing. All our favorite TV shows have gone out the window. All the things that I used to say. All the words that got in the way. All the things that I used to know have gone out the window. All the things that she used to bring. All the songs that she used to sing. All our favorite TV shows have gone out the window. All the things that I used to say. All the words that got in the way.
I would
All the things that I
totally
used to know
try to do
have
like
gone
my
out the window.
own, do a 4-member boy band with myself. I feel like I could do that. Shout out to Brian David Gilbert, who already did do that with Twins Squared, because there are 4 of them. I could do that though. I could do it too. Hey, welcome to Elite Coup. Anything you can do, we can do also. I don't know if that's still in the title of the website main page, but there was a point where I definitely realized, like, oh, this is all I'm doing. I'm just copying what I've seen, and then I tried to own it.
Probably still not great. Oh, good. We've been doing this a long time, and we're getting near the end.
Oh God.
So the penultimate, I went with something. Underthought of, maybe I'll say. That's sort of how I feel.
That's one thing you could say. I don't think it's true, but this one starts with 20 seconds till the start. This, much like the outro to Brian Wilson, like I put this one in here because I do think this song slaps, and because this is the penultimate song, and the idea of driving all night, and the idea like this, I think this is fitting for where we are in the stream, for where we are in the playlist. It is the middle of the night. I am sort of, got the road hypnosis going on. Just keep going. There's something driving you, and like on multiple levels, I felt like this song was fitting. Also, this song just kind of slaps because it has all of those themes in it, right?
My hands wet on the wheel. There's a voice in my head that drives my heel. It's my baby calling, says I need you here. And it's 4:30 and I'm shifting gear. When she is lonely and the longing gets too much, she sends a cable coming in from above. Don't need no phone at all. We've got a thing, and it's called radar love. We've got a wave in the air. Radar love.
But then also the gag of this has such a long, it's got a long break in the middle and then a long outro too, and this is the song that has the most dead air in it, which again, let me do another. At the end of Brian Wilson, I get up to go get a drink of water. That was a scripted bit. I think that's the one that I went with, even though my original idea was during the break in this song, literally go and make a sandwich for myself. I don't think it plays quite as well just staring at the empty screen. That is like a gag you do in a multicam show where you can do a cutaway with the low pass song still going in the back. Yeah, a full minute. The low pass of the song going in the background. And you just see them making the sandwich and the bridge going. But that's why here I found a different gag, which is, what if I just read the book that's here? That is a strategy guide for Myst. I did not use it when I beat Myst, but I have it. Myst VR came out, didn't it? I bought that. Still haven't played it. I got a bunch of VR games I got to catch up on, actually. I do love my VR games. And this really worked as a bit for the stream live because it's just got a break in it and we can just chill out here. If you look at what's going on up in the DMCA Safe Dramatic Reading Corner, that is not a frozen frame. I did sit there and stare at the camera as stoically as I could for the duration of this song. That is a live take. That is real time. And for the truly eagle-eyed out there, the gag here is that this break is so long that every other song I stare at the camera. I'm looking at the camera. But for this one, because the breaks are so long and the idea is like just sitting here and just going on and on and on, I actually my eye line is actually beyond the camera. So I don't know if it plays because it's a tiny window, it's a webcam, whatever, but like compared to every other shot where I'm staring blankly at the camera, this is 1,000-yard stare because it is beyond the camera. I am focused in the distance. I am miles away. And in a way I really am, but that is that is absolutely a scripted bit. I love the script bits. Oh, hey, everyone wake up. It's coming up. No, just straight up missed it. Okay.
No more speed. I'm almost there. Gotta keep cool now. Gotta take care. Last car to pass.
And I have done a lot of late night drives. I've talked about this a bunch on the late night driving streams. You can find a playlist of those elsewhere on the YouTube channel. But like real talk, the drive from here to where my partner lived before we started living together, that's like a 2-hour trip, and sometimes I would do that just in a weekend, sometimes I would do it in a single day, and like go up when I woke up around noon and then come back in the middle of the night when I refuse, and it's like, no, I'm gonna get home at like 3 in the morning because I'm leaving at midnight. And you get that late night, here's the thing bringing me up there. It's always easier to do that drive going to the person you're going to see than leaving them. Leaving is hard to do. I got other books over here. I don't know why I went with Mist. No, that's it. I mean, here I got How to Draw Manga. This is where I really started learning how to draw.
To be fair, if you had asked me where goes,
yeah,
even without,
there's a good book. I don't know if it's in print anymore. Probably not.
So just as well I get the gimmick out of it, you know? I'll take it.
Shout out to Kay for Kay's art.
Let me do it like this. It's 12:30. We're long past closing time for today. I'm gonna do one more song. If you are familiar with the songs available on the service, you may take a pretty good guess at what it is. So I'm just gonna take a break and say it now. I want to thank you. I want to thank you all for coming out. I want to thank you for supporting the stream, and I want to say, it sounds like I'm closing up, but I'm not really sure what to do. Last year I did 25.
I feel like a little kid down here in the corner window.
And like, it's the finale of the first half, so you want to be like, that's it for the night, but you don't want to go too big with the thank yous because it's the end of things.
Wow, at this point last year I was at 527. I think that halfway through I think that was better than my total for this year.
That's fantastic.
I don't really feel bad about that. This year got really weird. Just in terms of like people and socializing and being able to connect. And I think a lot of the people who supported me in 2020, their lives got busier in 2021 and just sort of didn't manage to be around and like, hey, you know what? We got support. You can never. It's hard to feel bad about getting less support. But like, you still get support. There's still people showing up, still people putting in the work. Gotta love it.
Emulate some Wiimotes, but that seems harder to me. This connects to the Wii up there, into that screen, into that capture card. It's a whole thing, and
oh yeah, that setup is bad. I guess you'll be seeing that a couple of videos from now. I don't know where in the archive it was, but you'll see that it goes. That was a headache. I have a better solution for playing that game in the future. Boom Blocks is real good, y'all. I should go back and rewatch that. I should just go play more Boom Blocks.
Not bright and early, at noon again, and we're gonna do the same shift. We're gonna do 12 to midnight, and hopefully I'll wake up a little bit earlier and I can get a proper breakfast this time. But it's gonna be great. I'll see you there. Now it's time for the final song. You had all of that time to figure out what I was going to do, and if you did not guess closing time, then you goofed, son. Let me just check these things over here one more time. That's gonna be great. I'll put that there. I have those. All right, thank you, everybody. Here's the song. This is it is what it is, and it's closing time.
Closing time's good. Closing time is like a classic, right? Like, I don't know if it's a classic just in karaoke or... It's good. It's good. It is... Closing time is the 90s version of Old Lang Syne or something. That's a claim I could make, I guess.
Closing time.
Actually, funny. Closing time is a song that, like,
every boy and every girl
wasn't on the sort of
closing time.
like albums that I dug into. This was a song we got from like the very past the age of CDs. After that, where we got into like, oh, these are the early years of like music sharing and Kazaa and LimeWire and what have you. Real nasty days, let me tell you that. I do not miss them particularly. I'm a little nostalgic for them, but I don't think they should come back. Not in that form, at least. But like this was like a little bit of like, oh, let's trade MP3s with our friends. I think maybe it was actually before like Napster, LimeWire, but it was like the MP3 era. Because I remember, man, I guess I never made that connection before. But this song, I made a mixtape by playing MP3s into my stereo and then recording them onto a cassette tape to make a custom cassette to listen to as I walked around, because I had cassette like Walkman still. Walkman's a brand, it's like Band-Aid. I had like portable cassette players still, but I did not have portable MP3 players at the time. So it was that weird crossover time. This was after MP3s and before iPods. That's where this song lives for me. So it's like this song and some They Might Be Giants, Istanbul and like Constantinople, and some really just like one-off techno songs that I know nothing about, where they came from, where they went. Yeah, man, what else is from that era? I have trouble. I bet I still have that tape somewhere. Oh, am I gonna have to drag up that tape? And then we're gonna have to do a special like live no archive listen together of cassette tapes. I've done it before. We did it with I have a tape of a couple of tapes actually of like, they were McDonald's promo tapes for like Halloween. So it was like Halloween sound effects and spooky tunes with the McDonald's kids gang or whatever. Ronald McDonald was there, I know that much. We've done those before on live listens. I Know Who I Want to Take Me Home, but that was on a service that is no longer. So I Know Who I Want to Take Me Home. I'm not sure how we would do it these days. You know what? Maybe I'll think about that. Digging up old hit, just going super classic playlists. There needs to be good ways to. Okay, I know what you're saying. Spotify. I don't use Spotify because you want to talk about services that are not great, that don't treat their clients or products well. I know who I want to take me home. I know who. Hey, sometimes a YouTube playlist gets a lot of work done. Take me home. Say what you will about Google, but you can do a lot with just a YouTube playlist in terms of like sharing and archiving and what have you. They have made a lot available. But yeah, I'm pretty sure when this song ends, the video's over. So I'm gonna sort of wrap this up a little bit now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for doing a archive crawl, if that is indeed what you're doing. I hope so. I hope it is bringing you joy. Thank you for listening to the commentary. I will catch you next time and see you next Extra Life.
Goodbye, Twitch Sings.